their rules. We don't really care who sits in that office as long as they do the right thing. But if they're not doing the right thing, yeah, Max J, that's the point where we come in. You get the point where they say, like, all these points, like I've been telling you, these are the things. Understand? These are the things like we'll be talking about, not about really tribalism, that's so political, but we're talking about here music strictly. It can be me to sit in that office, but if I come with this kind of rules like of imposting you guys to pay taxes, honestly, paying taxes, where are these artists going to get the money from? Just let someone just tell me, where are these artists going to get the money from? Because these artists even need that money to just put food on their tables. But even to get that money to put food on their tables is a problem. Now, you're going to tax these artists based on what? I thought the union would come back strong and maybe say, put on like some really nice proposals out there to the NGOs, maybe to the government, to get fundings to help the industry grow, to help the artist. Like I said before, maybe when an artist is sick, they can help pay. Maybe like when an artist gets in trouble, in police or in jail or some stuff, the union, like those days, there used to be like a lot of, these are arresting of artists at night. When you move at night, come from shows, police can arrest you. You find those days, like, if you're in problem, LAM can even, if you're under the association, LAM will come up to the police and pick you out. If not LAM, there used to be many men. Like, I remember there was a time when they brought Jose Chameleone in South Sudan. We all performed, men performed, like all the legends you get. WJ performed, Quincy performed, like all of us. At the end of the day, when I came on stage, we blew fireworks. A lot of fireworks, like boom, 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 a lot. I was arrested on the stage. All my boys were arrested and stuff like that. At the end of the day, when Man Makir came around, was like, hey, Silva, what he did was not good and stuff. They said I was trying to kill Chameleone. I don't know how fireworks has ever killed someone. You're in your dressing room, backstage, very far from the stage. Fireworks just goes up to shine up the performance. I was arrested. Then lately after that, we sorted out. I was let to go. I left the venue with my team. But guess what happened after that? Every artist was beaten. Every artist. Many Men was beaten with his team. Quincy was beaten. Mr. Lengs was beaten. WJ was beaten. I was the only one who was not beaten because I left the venue as early as possible. So they were mixing. They find this one, maybe this is this and that. People were beaten. In the morning, I was getting phone calls. I came to Nyakron and we all met. We met with all the artists that I mentioned above. If I know they're there, if they're watching, they'll confess this to you guys. But then, like, in the morning, like, when the union guys came in, like Raskobi came, I think Raskobi or Lam Tungwar was like, that was not a good act to happen and stuff. They had to go to the police, get these people out, like, and try to figure out exactly those guys who did that thing to the artist, for them to get some prosecutions. But it never happened. But at least they stood there for the artist, you get. So, like, majorly, this thing is supposed to be there to defend the artist, you get. And, like, this thing of the union also, like, getting the IDs used to happen those days when there was a lot of, criminal issues in Juba. And then they said, to make a difference between criminals and artists, you need to get an ID. So when they catch you and you have dreadlocks, they will understand, okay, you have an ID, you go. But if they catch you without an ID and you have dreadlocks, my brother, you suffer. People suffered. And that time, if they catch you and they ask you, you say you're a Fananta, like you're an artist, they ask you which song. If your song is not known, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. Me, I survived because that time I would sing for the Shogun. When I sing that, oh, hands up, you go like that. So it was something like, those are those days. Then a few times ago, like, they keep bringing this thing back for their personal interest. Not this money the artists are using to register. I don't know how much it is that the artists pay. Where does that money go? And how does that office sit without the money? All right. Many bro is here. Thanks for adding the voice, my little brother, Silver X, Simon. I'm taking off now. I'm taking off now. I'm taking off now. That couldn't watch the whole thing, but that's the way to go. Once I learn, I will watch it later. Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you so much, brother. Yeah, it was actually yesterday, like when you called me, like, and you'd be like, hey, bro, that is something like this. That was not when I knew like this thing was serious and it needed our voices. Many men like you're one of the greatest, legends I've known throughout my time. Ever since we started, like, you came to it and all this, like, it's been a long story, bro, and you still keep it like real. So majorly, these are the things you get. There are some things we cannot accept. We cannot accept to be forced to do certain things. One, is not a must for us to register. Two, the union doesn't have any right to force our partners as artists, like the promoters, the radio stations, and the clubs, the venues. Even they said if you're doing a wedding and you need entertainment, you need to get a permission from the union. Since when, in which country, or in which village, in which planet do wedding couples need to get permission from the artist union for them to have entertainment in their wedding? Do we have some sense, really? Do we have some sense? I guess it's high time we stand up, let these things happen in politics, because we're not in there right now. But in music, let us leave music to be a free entity, a free entity completely. You get? That's just what I'm saying. And secondly, maybe to add light onto that again, there is this idea these guys have brought in, as in the radio stations should pay the artist, should pay money for playing our local music, like our homemade music. And the DJs also should play, like the copyright, like what happens in Kenya. I wish these people know how Kenyans somehow, at the beginning, regretted. Do you know sometimes back, Kenyan music was #1 in East Africa. Kenyan music was #1 in East Africa, #2 was Tanzania. But when they brought the thing of copyright, even bearing in mind that Kenya is very, very advanced, very far from us, very advanced, they had a lot of problems. The Kenyan music fell down completely. Ugandan music took over. That's why Ugandans refuse this thing of so-called copyright, where if I find someone playing my music on the streets, they have to be charged. Playing my music in your phone, you have to be charged. Playing my music on radio station, you have to be charged. DJs playing my music, they have to be charged. My brother and my sister listening right now, watching this, let's say for the past 10 years, we have been still struggling, begging radio presenters, radio stations, let me say, to play our music. You will bear with me this very, very, very critically. Right now, we're still begging radio stations to play our music at least 50% or even 40%. But even in seriously. And these are the people you say you want to tax for playing our music. Seriously, the minute we the artists, or we the people who love music, we the people who have the vision for the great industry of South Sudan, if we let these things happen, believe me, the grave that this so-called union has dug is going to take your music, all of it, like that, and they cover it up. We have not even reached a level where our own radio stations can look for our music freely, like they look for the music for Chris Brown, for Wizkid, for Davido, for who else. Even just like Belly, our presenters still they can look for Ugandan music so easily. But for you who is in Juba right now, if you don't take your music to that radio station, you're going to believe with me that your music will not reach that station. They will not find it. They will not get your music. You have to take it. And they will say, if you ask them why, they will say you never brought your music, because apparently you're bragging. So our people are presented